Hey, let's catch up some Spurs news and notes you may have missed, and then let's get some takeaways from Wemby's play during his Olympic run.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy hump day. I am Jeff Garcia, your host right here on Locked On Spurs, Spurs beat writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. As always, we thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever we get podcasts. Go to YouTube, iTunes, Ken's 5 Plus app, Spotify. Yeah, pick a platform. We are there. We're going to be discussing a lot of stuff today. We got a good show for you. We're going to catch up some Spurs news and notes that you may have missed, and then get some takeaways from Wemby's play during his Olympic run with Team France. And then obviously, it's the offseason. We're going to talk about you guys. What are y'all talking about over at the Locked On Spurs YouTube page? Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As there may be sports slowing down right now, but you got the NFL season right around the corner. MLB got underway right now. FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a booster or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, only at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. So, yeah, we're just having a good day. Man, this is the doldrums of the NBA offseason, isn't it? We are in the thick of things, but there is some good Spurs news we're going to share with you right now in case you missed some of it. And perhaps the big one right now is get ready for Thursday, August 15th. The Spurs 2024-25 schedule will be announced. Obviously, one of the bigger games is the Christmas Day game. Everybody knows about that already, but they will be doing the Austin I-35 series once again. That's where the Spurs will play a pair of games out in Austin, Texas, and it's called the I-35 series, so that will be happening. So keep your eyes glued to right here on Locked On Spurs. We'll likely break down the new schedule this Friday right here on Los. And other Spurs news. Hey, Wemby got the anime treatment. He did. Bleacher Report did a quick anime of Wemby taking on Team USA. This situation is Wemby versus Steph Curry and LeBron, and Steph Curry and LeBron, they unite and they go on and they attack Wemby and they defeat Team France, Wemby, and they hold their gold medals in the hand. Now, they drew inspiration from that, from a Dragon Ball Z Tournament of Power game, this episode, where the exact same thing, the two rivals, in this case, Goku and Frieza, they teamed up to take on the big challenge that was Jiren, and they defeated him. Same concept, but they put that to Wemby and Steph and LeBron. It's over there at kens5.com/Spurs if you want to check it out. Spurs news. If you have a rare Wemby card, you might want to hold on to it. Maybe one day it'll be valuable, but if you hold a specific card right now, it might be worth about $31,000 or more. That's right, you heard that correctly. A card that's super rare, one of one. It's refractor, this and that, gem mid 10. Basically, it's like everything you want, but the fact that it's a one-on-one. Right now on Golden Auctions, that card is going for a starting bid of $31,000. It is that rare. It's just one of one. That's it. They only made one, and it's a Wemby. So keep your cards close by if you have any Wemby's cards. Maybe you can get the autograph. Be tough. He doesn't really sign a lot of cards, but if you do, congratulations. But yeah, that card is up for auction right now over at the Golden website. It is super rare. It is really rare. It's like a black background. It kind of reflects, has him in his white jersey going up. Obviously, it's the fact that it's minted 10 and it's a one of one. That'll do it. So if you got $31,000 or more, yeah, you might want to go and see if you want to buy that card. All right, there you have it. Some quick Spurs news and notes. When we get back, we'll be joined by Jack Thompson, formerly of San Antonio sports star. We're going to be discussing Wembanyama, his play during the Olympics. What do we learn about that and more? That's next right here on Locked On Spurs. First, I want to talk to you about FanDuel. You want to go to FanDuel right now. Look, you love sports. You don't want them to stop, right? And even though there might be kind of a lull in the sports world right now, but you still got NFL. That's already around the corner. MLB is going on. So, yeah, so much going on in the sports world, but you want to get fun with it. FanDuel lets you keep the sports going whenever you want. All you got to do is just open up that app, dream up some bets, and by the time you know it, you'll be having some fun with FanDuel. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a booster or bonus daily. There's something for everyone this summer, all day long, every single day, only with FanDuel. You want to go to FanDuel.com right now, start making the most out of it. Get that app, go to the website, create an account, download that app. Once you do, very easy, quick sign up, make your bets, 1, 2, 3, in and out, have some fun, dream up of something. Parlays, yeah, you can have that fun with that. They have it all over at FanDuel. So again, head on over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Also want to talk to you about Mudslinger's Drive-Thru Coffee. Go there right now, San Antonio, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. That's in the 21 to 1604 area. They serve San Antonio the best coffee in the city, and not just coffee, just drinks in general. Latte, cold brew, caffeinated, decaffeinated drink. What about signature drink like the Mudslinger coffee? They got it all. They even got mini donuts. They got a friendly staff, good menu. That menu is so vast. You'll get lost in it. And they're open every single day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Make sure to follow them on social media at MudslingerTX. Speaking of drinks, they have a line called the Lightning Bolt series. Now, that should tell you a lot already, right? That supercharges your day. That gets you going. And they have a drink called the Alien, which is also part of that Lightning Bolt series. You can figure out who that's, Victor Wembanyama. Go have it, by the way. It's very good. I've had it. But just a heads up, they're going to be starting using Lotus Energy instead of Red Bull. Lotus Energy has the same kind of impact as Red Bull, but with 7 power plant extracts. Now, just heads up, if you want Red Bull, just tell them. They'll make it for you, but the default will be Lotus Energy. Go there right now, San Antonio. Open every single day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. Mudslingers is the place you want to go to right now. Why? Because life is too short for bland coffee.
A Jedi uses the Force. To subscribe to Locked On Spurs. Pass on what you have learned.
And look who is back once again. He is Jack Thompson, formerly with San Antonio Sports Star. There they are, the 3 goggles there. At least he knows, to put the 3 goggles on his eyes, unlike me, who doesn't write the 3-3 on his Twitter handle or X handle. Sorry about that, Jack.
You good, man.
Since he called me out on that fast.
I was like, how did I not see this already? And I was like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
He didn't tag me.
I forgot to put the 3-3 at the end, even though he does the 3 goggles every time he's on Los here. Follow him on X at Jack Thompson. Jack Thompson 33. Almost messed it up, but there you go. It's on the screen. Make sure to follow him right now. What are we talking about? We're going to be discussing Wemby, our takeaways from his play during the Olympics. What do we like? What didn't we like? How does it going to kind of maybe spill over in a good way or maybe a bad way into the new season? And then catch up with you guys with the comments you're leaving at the YouTube page. Jack, are you sure you got enough gas in the tank? Because right before you came on this show, you did Jimenez's show. So you're good? You're good?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm ready. Fired up.
Right. Well, Wemby walked away with the silver medal. He and Team France came up short versus Team USA. Nevertheless, it was a very successful Olympic run for Wemby. He walked away with silver. Was named to the All-Star 5, basically the best 5 players in the Olympic tournament. And he was named a rising star among FIBA for his play in Paris. But what did you like? Was there certain things you didn't like? You maybe thought that, wow, I didn't know he had that in him, even though he played a year in San Antonio. What were your takeaways from his play?
I mean, I can't really say that anything surprised me. I mean, we saw Wemby do some miraculous things in San Antonio with lesser people around them than what he had in France. So, yeah, I mean, it was awesome to see Wemby. It was beautiful, man. That last game, he went off. He brought his all. Yeah. You can see how much passion he was playing with. Just he wants to give everything he has to this game, and it's just fantastic to see. And it's just even better that we're going to be able to witness it here in San Antonio. I would say a takeaway is Wemby still needs to get a lot stronger. Yeah. Oftentimes he puts the ball on the ground and he's knocked off his dribble or someone bumps him and he goes flying. That's really the only thing that stood out to me with Wemby. Yeah. I mean, he takes good shots. He takes tough shots, but he's playing in a different, game for France. So he let some of that slide as they need him to take the shots and to score.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's really just he's still just an immature kid. I mean, he makes bonehead plays. He does some dumb things sometimes, and he has the body of a kid despite being 7'6", and he gets knocked off his dribble or off his spot defensively. And that's really the only weakness I see in his game is just his strength level. That's really all I see that needs to build, and everything has fallen in line right after that. But yeah, it was fantastic to see Wemby shine on the big stage.
It really was. But I was going to ask you, Jack, why didn't we get game in, game out NBA Wemby? We got Wemby that looked like he was not the dominant force that we see in the NBA. Why do you think that was shifted? Was it because FIBA is a lot more physical play than the NBA. And that's the only thing I can think of. We didn't see those near quad dubs or near triple double games. We sometimes we saw him not even score double figures. He got it defensively. He had 10 rebounds, 11, 10 blocks, blah blah blah. Why do you think it was kind of up and down for him?
I think a lot of that was, the physicality and the spacing. I think, he's playing against a lot of, the best players. They're the best players in their country. And then when you go to the bigs, I mean, that's the like of Jokic and
Mm-hmm.
Embiid. And, he's playing incredible talent that they could be more physical on him and lean on him. And also a lot of the times, he wasn't playing the five whenever Reedy's in. He's the four. So he's
Mm-hmm.
not getting the easy buckets around the basket. He also doesn't have the guard play for France to set him up to get easy buckets to add to that point total. A lot of it is his own, self creation with the bucket. So that definitely adds to it too. That's why I would say the point totals were a little bit lesser than we expected. It's also the FIBA game. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
lot less ISO ball. You don't just dribble the ball out with it in your hand and take whatever shot you want. It's a lot of sets and movement and finding the best shot, no matter the player. So I think a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
is what fell to it as well.
Yeah, we saw in a game versus Serbia, Joker was really bodying him a lot, really abusing him in the paint. Even Dennis Schroeder said after Team Germany was over, said like, "Hey, FIBA rules are a lot different." He even think he said he's not about entertainment. He said it's
Yeah.
about knowledge, it's about IQ, it's about having the right coaches. So yeah, big difference. And I noticed that right away. I said, "That's not the win." Well, for FIBA games, obviously the gold medal game he played lights out, but leading up to that, it was kind of like, yeah, that doesn't look like the Wemby that we've seen in the NBA. And they should have lost to China. Let's be real. They really should have lost to China. China, I don't think that was a foul at the end. But even in that game, he was struggling. So you saw him struggle a bit. Also, too, I think the coach for Team France had issue with Rudy Gobert and how to play him with Wemby.
Hmm.
He tried the Twin Towers for a while, kind of worked, but not really. And then, I'm not trying to single out Gobert, but man, if you're gonna decide to pull one of them, you're gonna pull Gobert out because he's so limited in what he can do. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he's just a beast in the middle, and that's it.
Hmm.
He's not fluid, he's not swift, he's not, he can't knock down the three shot as we saw Wimby do. But one thing I did take away with is actually had nothing to do with X's and O's is the fact that I'm glad that he took the loss hard. Obviously it wasn't
Yep.
just him; it was the whole team. The whole team was in tears, but Wimby was visibly upset. His teammates were upset, and I like that. I like that shows a competitive spirit. I like that he wants to be the best. He came up short. Team USA just had too much depth. But what are your thoughts about that? Him just in tears, coming up short in the gold medal game.
Yeah. I mean, Wimby's cut from a different cloth. There are few players in, the history of the game that rise and run to the moment like Wimby does. He's built from that, Kobe, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Steph Curry, that cloth of player that thrives in the shining light. And he just wants it so bad. I mean, home country, home team in the Olympics in the gold medal game. There's really not a bigger stage in sport. Even the NBA finals kind of fall in comparison to what a gold medal game really means. And especially to a team outside of the United States that has a chance to bring that home for their country. It just means so much to them, and you could see it on Wimby's face from the tip, like how locked in he was, how ready he was for this moment, and he knew he was going to shine, and he did just that, and he did everything he could to bring, to get France that gold. Unfortunately, he just, he ran into a buzzsaw of a team that has three of the top 10 greatest players of all time on it.
Yeah.
So it was always going to be a long shot for France to win. I think it was a much
Mm,
closer game than I had anticipated just because of the level of guards that France
right.
has compared to what, the Team USA had. But man, Wimby, he wanted it so bad. He almost brought it home, and it's a heartbreaking defeat. But
He
in
almost
the
did.
end, I mean, he still brought silver to his country. So while it is sad that he
Hmm.
lost, I think a lot of those were tears of pride and joy for what he had
Oh
done
yeah.
for his home country, and just it was beautiful to watch. It makes me so excited for the future because he's going to bring that same level of passion and love for, his fans and his community here to San
Right.
Antonio. And you can just tell he's going to give everything he has to this game of basketball. And we're just so blessed and lucky to get firsthand view of that here in San Antonio.
He finished with about 15.88. Sorry, let me say that again. 15.8 points per game. There we go. 9.7 rebounds and 3.3 assists for Team France. Was just a dominant force. One of my favorite plays where he kind of like took one dribble, one step, and he just like exploded to the rim for like a
Hmm.
crazy dunk. We've seen that before in San Antonio, saw it in the FIBA play. I also like the fact too that hey, he got to play against some of the world's best, and I really think that's going to translate into sophomore year
Oh
Wemby.
yeah.
He's going to be the focal point more so than he was last year. Most of his teammates, not all, but most of them, already adapted to him. Those that are coming back from last year to this new year, he has a he has point guards now. It's not just Trey Jones and that's it. It's
Hmm.
Trey Jones, it's Chris Paul, it's Stephon Castle. So he's going to find himself paired with playmakers, facilitators, and that. And when I'm thinking about Wimby and his Olympic play, though, Jack, obviously he came up short, but man, did you do you think that maybe some NBA scouts took a page out of how to defend him moving forward? Because he was again, we read the stats right now: 15.8 points per game, 9.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists. That's not the stats that you see in the NBA. Fine, it's a limited sample. They're not playing a whole season out there in the Olympics. But do you think maybe NBA scouts said, that's a good way to defend that beast next season?
No, I mean, you can certainly take some things away from it, but the NBA is just different. You can't guard the same way. Like, you don't have these non-pro NBA guys on the floor with Wimby when he's on the Spurs. Like, you got Devin Vassell and Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, Keldon. You got guys that can go out there, and if they were on Team France, they'd be the second best player behind Wimby. Like, they've it's just a completely different game. There's so much more spacing in the NBA. You can't hand check, you can't body check. The NBA is not going to let teams beat up on Wimby the way FIBA did because the future of the NBA is Wimby. They're going to protect him. He's not going to get beat up like we saw him get beat up in against like Germany or Serbia when they just have these bruisers of bigs that are just leaning on him and bodying him the whole time. Those kind of players don't even really exist in the NBA because it's such a different game.
Yeah,
So I think there's some things you can take away from it for sure, as far as the rotations and like the shading and stuff like that, and help side and all
sure.
that. But as far as the man to man defense that is played in FIBA, it's just not like that in the NBA. It's just they're not going to be able to be physical with Wimby like they were in FIBA, and and
Yeah.
also the spacing, like I said, is way
Hmm.
different. You're going to get there's way more
Yeah.
shots because you got to respect the players around Wimby. You can't just focus on him like they could in FIBA, and I think that's the biggest takeaway that I saw is the game is just played different. And while there's things
Hmm.
you can take away from it in terms of guarding Wimby, you can't replicate it because the game's so different.
Yeah, exactly. One other thing that I would like to see him get better next year is shot selection and 3-point shooting. There's sometimes during the Olympic play I saw like, oh, what are you taking that shot for? You hit it on the head earlier. You said, he's still young. He'll make boneheaded plays. Sometimes he took boneheaded shots, but 3-point shooting for Wimby during the Olympic run, 28% shooting. He took about 6 a game for Team France. He only made about one to two. So yeah, I like to see that get better moving into next season, and he can do it. And that's a scary thing about it. He can do it, and what's even scarier is after the Olympic run for Team France, he even pretty much warned the entire world,
World.
yeah, that he is coming here to dominate.
Hmm.
So that is just scary. So he's
I just
riding
got
some,
goosebumps, man. That's
yeah,
so
yeah,
amazing. That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
He
He's cut from that cloth, that special brand of player cloth, and we just get to see him rise. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, the only player I can see him slowing him down is called Jack Thompson. That's this guy's name. That's the only. That's the only
I'd
man
rather
I
throw
know
him
in the universe.
lobs.
You rather throw lobs, get your assist numbers up. But yeah, Wemby definitely played all for Team France. He looked really spectacular, chomping at the bit to what he'll do next season. Hey, when we get back, we're going to be discussing you guys, Locked On Spurs fans. What are the comments you're leaving over at the YouTube page? Hey, but first I want to talk about eBay Motors, passion, drive, and patience. That is the winning formula for bringing home championships, and it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, LED headlights. They got it all and so much more. Whether you're to speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts to choose from for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, you're not going to be burning cash. With all the parts you need and the prices that you want, it's easy to make your car into the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. That's ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers.
Hey, this is Hot Rod.
And I'm RC from the Cybertron Springs.
And you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
We're back with Jack Thompson. Make sure to follow my next at Jack_Thompson33. We always ask you what t-shirt you're wearing. What's the t-shirt today?
It says, "Don't overthink." You know, I can't say the word, but yeah, it's just a shirt that I thought was cool. Yeah. Just a random shirt.
All right. I just, from my point of view, just see a hand coming out from the bottom of your screen. It looks like a zombie's about to choke.
It has 6 fingers, so it could be a zombie hand.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, good catch there.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. See, I didn't overthink it, and I didn't catch the 6 finger there. All right, it's time to talk about you guys, Locked On Spurs fans, in the comments you're leaving over at the YouTube page. Let's dive in. First one, Jack, is from Sean is too OP, so I think he's too overpowered here. All right, well, Sean, let's see what your comment has to say here. Not gonna lie, a little underwhelming during the Olympics, but I know Victor Wembanyama, is only gonna get better and doesn't mean much of anything. So Sean is too OP. He's kind of seeing what I saw. Like, that wasn't the dominant Wemby. Sean, we talked about that earlier in the show. Basically, it's just FIBA rules and perhaps more physicality. But Spurs fans really picked up on that quick, Jack. They were saying, hey, that's not dominant Wemby we saw during his rookie season. Your thoughts?
I mean, you try and go be dominant when the game plan is solely focused around stopping you. I mean, they didn't have a single, the only NBA guard they have is Frank Nikitalina, and he is a bench role player at best. I mean, they've got no one setting him up for easy bucket. Everyone on defense is focused on you and what you're doing, as in speaking of Wemby. So, yeah, I mean, he had a tough go of it. He had the best players from their countries and their game plan all focused on him, and he still had incredible games. So, while, I mean, his point total wasn't there, he was still affecting the game, and they won as the best player. Like, it wasn't, we may have wanted to see go get, 30 a game, but it's hard to do that as a big when you don't have a great guard helping you do so. So I think, that's where it really falls to me, is just his team around him was not able to lift him up where he needed the way the Spurs were able. So that's what it fell down to for me.
Yeah, I know. Does Frank even play anymore? Does he play in the league?
I think he might be on the Mavericks, or he's in the league. Yeah, I think he's in the league.
Yeah, he's in the league, right? Yeah. I saw him get a medal. I was like, oh yeah, he plays Team Frank. But no, I mean, I think there's just so many combinations of factors going into Wemby and how they attack him. And I think the biggest one is obviously the physical. You talk about, not many bigs in the NBA can do that. I mean, all I can think of is Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, is a beast. Maybe Joker tends to play Wemby very close. Sengun, he tried to do that. Remember the bully ball he did? But I think if you're an NBA player, just a big in general, you're going to try to just do that right now, because Wemby, as you mentioned, Jack, he's not physically strong yet. He's going to get there. It doesn't take time. Unless he works out with you, Jack. Then it can happen overnight.
I'll get him right.
You'll get him right, yeah. But aside from that, bigs that have to defend him or go at him offensively are going to use any physicality they can. Hey, thanks for that comment there, Sean. We appreciate that. By the way, why are you so overpowered? Are you like SS number 4, Super Saiyan 4? What's going on there, Sean? Hey, by the way, before we go to the next comment, Jack, do you see that anime? The Wimby anime?
Yeah, man.
He's
Crazy sick.
Jiren. Yeah, he's Jiren. Which bothered me a bit, but then I remember Jiren wasn't a bad guy. He was
Just doing what he had to do.
Yeah, he was just being a competitor in the tournament.
Yeah,
That's it.
just trying to win.
Just trying to win. Yep. All right, the next comment is from Dino Duns. He says, well, first of all, he's reacting to Fox Sports Nick Wright trade proposal involving the Spurs, Warriors, and Lakers. Jack, in case you didn't hear about this, he proposed a deal that will land the Spurs Curry and James, but the Spurs would have to give up Keldon, Dev, about 4 to 5 picks, some going to the Lakers, some going to the Warriors. Devin Vassell, Zach Collins, and City Sissoko would land in Golden State. Keldon Johnson would land. I mean, it was just like really going at the kind of the core players and some first round draft pick. I'm pretty sure you saw that, Jack, but as the commenter here is saying like, yeah, it looks like these people, they just come up with these trades thinking it's 2K with the cap turned off. What were your reaction to that proposal from Wright?
I mean, it's, completely far-fetched trade, and I'm not even sure that would be enough to go and get those guys. But as far as like the logistics of the trade, I mean, Nick Rice, he's matching salaries. That's why he put all those names together. So that part isn't far-fetched. But I mean, in what world is Devin, Zach Collins, and City Sissoko enough to go get you Steph Curry? I mean, that's not that's not even plausible whatsoever.
Yeah.
Awesome thought. Loved the spark that it gave, us everyone to talk about. But yeah, completely made up, unplausible, not realistic trade.
Yeah. His goal was just to get Curry and James on the team, and he just saw the Spurs. Well, they got a bunch of those assets and those kids to see if that'll work, and he put something together. First of all, I don't think LA would even do it. I don't think LA would. Bronny James just got there, and they ain't gonna break that up. Even just on that level. And Rudy Campos, he was on Monday show. We had a longer discussion about this, Jack, and he said he's okay with the deal. He said the only thing he would do is swap out James, throw in Anthony Davis. What if that's Curry and Davis landed and everything else stays the same? Keldon goes to LA.
Either way, you're winning a championship. You get LeBron or you get AD, you're gonna win the ship. I mean, if you're talking longevity, you probably want Anthony Davis, but I'm not swapping Anthony Davis out for LeBron. Let LeBron come here, get a few chips, retire as a Spur. That'd be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. And yeah, I would send this deal in a freaking heartbeat, man. It wouldn't even be a question. If this was on the table, I would accept it as the Spurs without
so you would take it as is, like with James and Curry coming to San Antonio.
Yes. Okay.
So you're on that.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the minority because I asked a lot of Spurs fans and they said, hell, they would not do it. Now their reason is they feel that they're just short-term rentals. They're not going to be with Wemby for the long term. And then then you pretty much traded away Keldon and Vassell, 2 key players in the rebuild, and you're almost starting over again if they retire sooner than later. That being Curry. Your thoughts?
Well, my rebuttal to that is Keldon. I mean, I think a lot of them Spurs fans talking about get Keldon out of here. So really, like the main player in the rebuild that we're losing for the future is Devin. Devin, while a fantastic NBA player, you can find another Devin. You can find another bucket getter to go along with James and Curry. I mean, and if it only is costing us like 5 or 6 first-round picks, that means we have 10 or 11 stashed in the bank to keep rebuilding. This doesn't. I mean, this is a no freaking brainer.
Jack's all worked up.
No brainer. Yeah, you get Steph and LeBron.
Here you go, Jack. I got it for years. Here, let me show you.
Dude, that's 4.
Hang on, let me see if I can pull up the proposed. There it is. There it is.
4 first-round picks.
One more time? So Harrison Barnes also goes to the Lakers.
Bye. That's fine. See ya. This isn't even a question, man. 4 first-round. Literally, all you're really
not City Sissoko.
All you're giving up for the future that is probably going to stay around is 4 firsts and Devin. I do not see Keldon, Barnes, Collins, or Sissoko being here for the long haul. And in the end, you're getting LeBron James and Steph. That is
So you're pulling
incredible
the trigger
no-brainer.
on this deal
As is, instantly, the minute I receive it, within the second.
so you're on board.
On
Instantly.
board.
Man, look at you,
On
man.
board. I'll drive this
Look
car,
at
man.
Jack.
That's how on board I am.
How many chips does that get you?
How many chips does
How
that
many
get
chips
us?
that get you? Right
I
there.
mean, it gives you, I would say, at least 2. You're going back to back at least, because then LeBron, he might retire. But you still got Steph, and by that time, you've got other picks. You can, once you dump that LeBron salary, that's a boatload of money. You can bring other players in around Steph and Wemby. I mean, I think you're getting at least 3 or 4 out of that.
Damn, 3 or 4? I mean, but then again, what's the shelf life for at least James? Minimal James.
I mean,
How many more years do you think he can play?
I think James plays at a extremely high level for the next.
High level? Okay.
That's
Okay,
2.
so
LeBron and Curry are winning 2 by themselves with the team that we have.
okay, I'm gonna leave the screenshot up there a little longer. Okay, so that's who the Spurs are getting. So think about this too. You didn't lose Cass. You didn't
No.
lose Sohan.
No.
You didn't lose
Still
Trey
got
Jones.
CP3.
Still got CP3.
Yeah, dude.
What else?
You still got a squad. There's still a squad left behind.
Jack, man. You're already calling the Lakers up, aren't you, right now?
Yeah,
Hey,
dude,
Lakers,
if this was
let's all
plausible
chat.
and this could happen, it would be insane to not take. We literally saw Steph and LeBron lead a team of NBA All-Stars and Team USA, and they were still the best players at their age. That doesn't tell me that they're slowing down this season for sure. Next season, I mean, there could be a drop off, but we're still talking about a drop off from 2 of the top 5 players in the league. So what? They drop to 9 and 10, and then you have Wemby. That's still enough to get you a championship, like easily. So yeah, I mean, think about you were talking about the deterioration of Braun and Steph. Well, think about the rise of Wemby. The rise of Wemby. Who are you going to guard? What are you going to do? You're going to throw 2 people. You got to throw 2 people at one of them whenever they have the ball. That means one of them is open. Like you wouldn't be able to defend. Elite scoring from everywhere. Insane IQ from Steph and LeBron, who can set the table for Wemby. This is an automatic 2 championship.
I'm warning you now. Some Spurs fans are going to give you some smoke.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
They will.
I hope. I want them to. I want them to.
Like I said, I polled the Spurs fan base, and they were like 80% of them said nope.
Good.
No,
I can't wait for the comments and next.
Don't want to do it.
I want the smoke because yes, while we're not going to be trading for players we're going to have for another decade, we're going to have them for at least both of them at least 2 and 4 years. You're getting 3 championships out of that easy. And then after that, you have prime Wemby, 10 draft pick, and a boatload of cap to refuel. Easy money, dude. I could do that.
Easy money. That's what Jack says. I like the deal.
Money.
The only thing I would swap out again, I would swap out James and Dave. I think the Spurs could use a little bit more big man. That's the only thing.
Yeah, certainly.
I would just swip it.
Certainly, yeah. You get it.
Other than that, buy Barnes.
Too, I mean.
Yeah. Either way, it's a win. Hey, we're done talking. Jack is asking for the smoke. So we want to hear from you.
Bring it.
Be sure to let Jack know. Give him the smoke at Jack_Thompson 33. Don't forget to put the 33 on there. Look at that. Give you the 3 goggles there. He's looking for the smoke. You see when he did that? He's looking out like binoculars. Where is it?
Where is it?
Give him the smoke. Give him the smoke, Spurs fans who are not on board with the Nick Wright trade proposal. That would land you
understand
Curry
how you could not be on
James.
right with that.
They're there. They're just look. Just go on social media. You'll see Spurs fans are just roasting him. But there are Spurs fans. It is Spurs social media. No war with anyone.
Dude, and you don't think like adding Steph and LeBron to the same team as Wemby would prolong their careers? Think of how much less they would have to do. I think it'll go both ways.
I think it will. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have to do the least they've ever done.
I think it'll own. Yeah, and then it'll also add to Wemby's basketball IQ to maybe make him more dominant for the long. So I think it's a win-win in that trade scenario. But we definitely got to hear from you. What do you think? Again, let Jack know at Jack_Thompson 33 and subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you get your favorite podcast. By the way, thank you everybody. 5,000 subscribers on Locked On Spurs. We finally pushed that over it. We're going to go for another 1,000. Hopefully that'll come as soon as possible. So we appreciate it. Keep on subscribing to Locked On Spurs throughout the entire offseason. Now it's going to get slow. Nope, we're in it now. This is the thick of things now. It's going to be quiet for at least about 2 months-ish. So hang in tight. We'll be there with you every step of the way. And come back this Friday. Yeah. Merch of the month is back. Yeah. Spurs got some new gear. I think y'all might like it. I already know what it is. I seen it. So look forward to that and so much more right here on Locked On Spurs. And subscribe iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Ken's 5 Plus app. Make sure to give us a peek. Check out Locked On Sports Today, 24-hour streaming channel only on YouTube, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network. Go subscribe to that too. So for Jack Thompson, I'm Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.